Well, hello, everybody. Get ready for another engaging episode of TalentED. I'm your host, Dr. Eric Skanson. And today I'm so excited. We have a fantastic guest, Katie Kinder, author of Untold Teaching Truths and Hallway Leadership. Katie is not just an educator since 2006. She's a professional learning facilitator who is actually on a mission to inspire educators nationwide. So I want you to stay tuned. We're going to do a deep dive with Katie. Katie is a Teacher of the Year, top 5 district finalist, captivating speaker, accomplished author, leader in professional development, devoted mom, loving wife, passionate advocate for education. She has filled her journey and is ready to share some insights and tricks with us that she's learned in the classroom. So get ready to be inspired, engaged, and dynamic. Katie Kinder, welcome to the show, Katie.
Oh my goodness, that was so nice. Hello, everyone. Dr. Eric, it is good to see you.
Katie, why don't you, I said some things, but is there some things that you want to fill in the blanks with and tell us a little
God,
bit more about you?
sure. I absolutely love teaching. I love creating experiences for my kids that they're going to remember for a lifetime. And it's a call in my life to love the kids and teach them, and then now teach the teachers. And it really is something I look forward to every single day. I believe in innovation. I believe in straight just having fun with kids
Mm-hmm.
and creating this meaningful learning in which they'll come back a lifetime later and say, oh my goodness, that was awesome.
And you've been speaking and talking about this for a while now. Tell us number one, tell us where you're coming from today. Hey,
I'm in
the great state of
Oklahoma. I'm in Oklahoma City. Go Thunder, Boomer Sooner. I went to OU, and yeah, that's where I kind of got started in my district doing internal training, loving on the baby teachers. That's what I call my new teachers. I love them.
mm-hmm.
And then I got asked to start doing some conferences, and people would get in line like, "Oh, you should write a book," and I'm like, "Okay, you should too," you know. And
Mm-hmm.
then the pandemic hit, and some people like cleaned their house and cooked, and I wrote that book. So Untold Teaching Truths came out in 2021, and from there it's led to another book and more speaking. I've been doing keynotes and training teachers, classroom management workshops, you name it.
Mm-hmm.
And I just love going all over the nation and loving on these teachers. It's so fun.
And they're lucky to have you. We can tell that just the energy and the passion that you bring to the profession is well needed. I don't know if you know this, but I have a little bit of a famous intersection with Oklahoma.
Oh, tell me.
I happen to play the lead in the play Oklahoma.
Yeah, you did.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's
This was
wait,
about 20 years ago.
but which lead? Like what character? Because there's several.
The lead,
The lead, like
not
the
Will.
not Will.
Oh,
Okay,
oh my gosh, why am I blanking right now? Oh, okay, we're gonna come back to it.
okay,
I
okay.
am so
I'm
just like, or maybe we just edit this part out so I don't look so
we're
dumb.
gonna we're gonna edit it out or lead
Why am I
in Oklahoma. We can edit.
Oklahoma with it comes trucking down the
And
road?
Curly?
Curly, thank you.
Curly.
Yes, thank you. I totally blanked. Curly. Um, Curly, yes. With the fringe on top.
With
Absolutely.
Curly with the fringe on top.
Yep.
Love that. Fun.
So that is my closest intersection of fame with the state of Oklahoma. Okay. What now we had this little sidewalk. Now we got to come back, I guess. Let's talk about some experiences. that you love. So as an experienced educator, Katie, you've emphasized kind of this importance of making learning fun,
Yeah.
which I love. I'm an advocate of play and fun in the workplace. There's a purpose for play all the way down to our babies that come in. Can you
Mm.
share, maybe talk about some practical strategies or activities that teachers can use to create engaging, enjoyable classroom experiences?
Sure. I mean, I'm a huge fan of gamification. I
Mm-hmm.
love to take something that was maybe previously boring and really mix it up inside of a game. And the kids can run in, I'm playing Mission Impossible and they got to find their group. And everybody has, very specific jobs. And there's a scribe and there's a leader and there's a speaker and there's a researcher. And they come in and it just really fosters that classroom culture. And if you think about even adults, like we still like to play.
Absolutely.
Like I adore my husband and we have been married for 20 years, but I don't ever think about leaving him unless it's fantasy football season. Like, right. Like he's like, babe, I think I'm going to play this defense and this quarterback. And then what do you think? And I'm like, I don't care. But here he is, 43 years old,
Mm-hmm.
and he wants to win the fantasy football league. And so our kids are no different. Our kids want to come in and win that Kahoot game or
They do.
the, they want to play Jeopardy. They want to do all of that. And I love that when my kids look up and they're like, oh my gosh, class is over. And they don't want to leave because they want to keep playing.
Have you ever heard this saying? And I think I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna have a better memory now that I did with Curly. I think there's a book called Creating Innovators by Tony Wagner. It's a
Okay.
little bit older one, but in there he talks about play. Play leads to passion, and passion leads to purpose. Right. So
Yeah.
how do we let kids play and find things that they love so that they can
Right.
turn that love into a purpose in their life? I think um, really, really an amazing thought train that happens around play. And how do we keep that in our classrooms?
Of course. And it's like our kids, some of our teachers are like, well, I have to hit this standard, and this standard. And they don't have to be different. Like our play can be wrapped around standards and curriculum, and we should be just creating these types of environments for our
Mm-hmm.
kids. And I taught middle school, so I adore them, but they need a lot of training. This is how we work in a group, and this is how we speak to each other. And this is how,
Right.
yes, they need training, of course. But when they get to that sweet spot, when they know what is expected of them and they want to win and they want your test scores go up, your engagement, all of it,
Mm-hmm.
it it's great. And then I love to also I like to rearrange my room to hook my kids in. I
Mm-hmm.
use music and, October 1st, it's Halloween in my room.
It's
Okay.
full immersive. Yes.
It is, yes. Like every single day there's going to be something new. And Miss Kinder's Tower of Terror, they're going to run in and be like, oh, I think it's this. And my kids are 14. They want to play.
Right.
And I'm teaching Edgar Allan Poe and swooping around and doing all this kind of fun stuff. And kids remember Halloween in my room for years to come because it's just fun. But then I teach Anne Frank in April.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of my kids don't know that she dies. And in the 3 weeks, we learn about her and she becomes our friend. And she's 14 and they're 14 and they're having all of these same feelings and these same things. And then on the day she dies and the people in the annex, I'm ready. And my windows are blacked out. I have a fake candle for every person in the annex. I've got funeral music
Mm-hmm.
playing. And these kids, as we're saying goodbye to her and writing her letters, they are sobbing. And so it's not just we're going to laugh and play with our
Mm-hmm.
kids. We're also going to create these moments. And I have kids as seniors, as freshmen in college, they'll run into me and they're like, Miss Kinder, are you still making people cry with that Anne? Like, right?
Yeah.
Because they don't remember any one thing in that novel, but they remember how they felt the day that their friend
Right.
Anne. So I mean,
Well, there's
just
there's power in moments, right? Like if we can create
sure.
experiences around learning, it's like the super sticky Velcro at that point. Like how do you get it to stick? Right?
Mm,
You
yeah,
got to have that.
yeah. So good. And so that's a lot of the things that I've been going around the nation and teaching kids. And, if you open my heart up, I love baby teachers. Like those first 5 years are so difficult
Mm-hmm.
in retaining our teachers. And I think that we have to make professional development fun. We have to make, I mean, life is fun. Learning
Mm-hmm.
should definitely be fun, right, Dr.
Mm-hmm.
Eric?
Yes.
So, so that is what I've been doing, and I absolutely love it.
Well, let's keep going because there's another book that you authored called Hallway Leadership, right?
Yes,
Can
yes,
you tell me more about the concept of hallway leadership and how it can impact a school's culture or student success?
yeah, 1,000%. I think if you are in this business long enough, in the people business, you have some leaders who are absolutely phenomenal, and you have some that might not be. And I don't think any leader, any instructional leader, goes into it like, I'm going to be mediocre. Like nobody
Nobody
feels that.
does that.
Nobody does. So I, it's really a book I wrote with a friend of mine who's an assistant principal, and then it has all of these education rock stars with their anecdotes about how they lead by being seen. Like, you can't be in your
Mm.
office when kids are and teachers are in the building. You are all over that building. You are getting your steps in. And it is a really powerful book, anecdotes, tips from amazing principal superintendents
Mm-hmm.
and counselors, just like how we lead together. Like we need every last one of
Yeah.
us.
It's too
And
much for one person, right? It's too much. We got to get everybody on board.
it is. And so that servant leadership is about serving the teachers that you love and serving your building and serving the custodians and serving the kids. So we have this culture of it's almost electric, and we just have each other's backs, and it's a family school. And so it's really powerful, and we're really proud of that hallway
Yeah.
leadership. Yeah.
Well, everybody should pick it up, order it, go to Amazon,
Yes.
wherever it's sold, or I mean, drive to Oklahoma and get an Oklahoma copy. That'd be fun
If you
too.
come to Oklahoma, we will meet for coffee and pizza and both, and I'll sign it. Let's do that.
Yeah, there we go. There you go. There's your invitation, everybody. So you've been recognized as a teacher of the year, a top district finalist. What qualities or approaches do you believe set exceptional educators apart, and how can maybe aspiring teachers cultivate these traits?
Yeah, I think we're all really different. And I say that to teachers across the country. I say, like, if I'm not connecting with a kid the way that I know I need to be, then I'm going to rely on Dr. Eric to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I am going to find what the currency is for that kid. Just like all of our kids are very different, all of our teachers are very different.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not everybody is going to sweep around a room with spiders and fake candles like Miss Kinder, but how can you use your creativity? So many times I've had teachers be like, well, I'm not creative. I'm like, no, no, no. You are creative. You
Mm-hmm.
are. You have to find your own personal brand of it. Like I can't walk into a school and be you. And but I can be me. And so
Mm-hmm.
I really think it's about teaching those teachers how to find that brand of education to tap into those relationships with kids and to create those powerful lessons. And I think we all bring something really special for sure.
Uh, yeah, absolutely. I think let's go into the next question. I really want to hear this one from you. So in addition to your roles as educator and author, you're also a professional learning facilitator.
Mm.
So how can schools and districts benefit from professional development? And what advice do you have for educators seeking to continue their own professional growth?
Sure. I think, and I say this a lot too, like be leery of the teacher who thinks they have it all figured out. None of us do. And I also believe that the answer's in the room. Like we can, I'm not necessarily, if you're going to bring me in for a day, we are going to get up. We are going to work
Mm-hmm.
together, collaborate. We are going to find that answer that is in that room. And that is what I help schools to do. And I love to be able to go in and cultivate those relationships with teachers and just give them a lot of hope. And sometimes they're so busy that they don't even have time to take a breath.
Mm.
And so when they get a true day of learning, that is full of practical strategies, I think it can uplift them in a way that nothing else can.
Well, and we should think about how do we make professional development fun for our staff, right? Like we cannot keep with this model where everybody come to the media center and you know, bring your
Right?
scores. We're gonna go through line by line. Sure, there's a spot for that, right? There's a time for that, but it does not mean that we can't do it in a way that is fun.
Well, and we should. And I'm sure that I know that you feel the same way. I mean, you come to one of our professional developments and you're going to be getting prizes and there's going to be team things and we're going to get up anything that I would do with students, I end up doing with teachers too.
Yeah.
And so we have this meaningful learning. We talk about what the family classroom should look like. What does a family school look like? Just all of that and in a safe space.
Mm-hmm.
And so really powerful.
Do you see any misconceptions in these areas that you've encountered when you're out and talking with people? Like how do people want to go, yeah, but.
Oh, sure, sure, sure. I say sometimes teaching adults is harder than teaching kids.
Yeah.
I think I've got some street cred in that I have taught post pandemic in a classroom with masks, what we have seen post pandemic, some of the things that we have seen. I have done it. Like I
Mm-hmm.
get,
Mm-hmm.
and I kind of feel like a defense goes down a little bit when I say, this is the school that I taught at 15 years. This is where I taught post pandemic. This is what I did. And they're not like, oh, you haven't been in a classroom in 25 years. No, 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 I was just there. And
Mm-hmm.
I know, and I think so. I think defenses come down a little bit with that, and that they're open to learning a little bit more. But I love a school contract in which I can come in once a month and really foster relationships with maybe some people who have a barrier up that by the time we get done with them, right, they're open to it. So I think
Mm-hmm.
that that's really powerful and important.
I'm going to switch gears on us a little bit. So I
Okay,
want you to put your creative hat on.
I'm ready.
All right. Lightning round.
Lightning round.
If you could be a superhero, if you could give a superhero name to your teaching style, what would it be?
Superhero name to my teaching style. Can I say Dumbledore? Is Dumbledore even the correct answer? He's a
I,
superhero.
I think so. I mean, he's got powers. I think so.
He's created this school that has this experience. Like, I'm going to say Dumbledore. That's what I'm going to
Okay.
say, Doctor. Are you good with it?
I'm good with it. I think it passes. Quick one word answer. What's your go-to classroom dance move?
Hitting the gritty? No, I'm just kidding. Gritty. I cannot hit the gritty. Classroom dance move. I don't know. The Macarena.
Okay. You got to bring him in somehow, right? Better than the sprinkler or the lawnmower or the,
That's pretty good too. I used
yeah.
to teach kids about Selena Quintanilla, and so she would do the washing machine, and so we would do the washing machine.
There you go. If you could swap roles with a fictional teacher from a movie or TV show, who would it be?
Fictional.
That's kind of a hard one.
That is a hard one because so many of the ones that I love are based on real people. Like you think about Erin Gurel from Freedom Writers. God, I love her.
Mm-hmm.
And she's not fictional; she's real. But fictional teacher. I don't know
Um,
what's your fictional teacher that you want to be?
maybe like
Mr. Feeney? What he in Boy Meets World?
yeah, maybe. Maybe it's I mean, you could do like Al from Home Improvement. He's kind of like a teacher, right? He's on screen. You could maybe do like oh my gosh, I'm blanking on the name. I guess that's the theme of the day. Tony Danza, he's the boss.
Yeah, but he did teach for a year. Have you read his book?
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Maybe that one doesn't count then. Like there's
So
a loophole on
you
that one.
should ask your teacher you could switch for the day. That's real. Like somebody, remember, the question that's like, who would you have lunch with, dead or alive? Mine's
Yeah,
always Angelo. I just felt like she's a teacher and a mama
yeah.
and a civil rights activist. And if I could sit down with her, I want to.
Hmm.
I feel like she's my friend.
Okay, next question is, in your opinion, what's the most unusual item you've ever found in a student's backpack?
Ooh, are we talking G-rated? I'm just kidding.
PG-13.
I found it, not that I go through backpacks, so it's not allowed, but my kids will bring like weird things. They're in that like weird, like I want to be treated like an adult because I think
Uh-huh.
but then also I kind of feel like a kid still. And so I had this kid who he laminated and made a dinosaur out of Dr. Phil's face.
Oh,
And I have a picture of it. I'll send it to you.
that's
And
that that's pretty impressive, actually.
it was Dr. Phil Dino. And he comes in and he's so proud of it. And everybody's kind of looking at it. And I was like, this is the greatest day of my life. I'm going to use this. And instead of the talking candle that you have to talk into, we use Dr. Phil
Yeah.
and use it for the rest of the year. And so by the end of the year, Dr. Phil's like, oh, and I was like, Tyler, this means more to me than it does you. Like, I need to keep Dr. Phil. And he's like, no, fine. Anyway, I have this great picture of Dr. Phil dinosaur, and it became such a class thing. Like, oh no, he can't talk. He doesn't have Dr. Phil. Like,
Yeah,
it's so
yeah. I pulled a live cat out of a locker, out of a backpack.
top. Like, just wanted to bring their pet to school.
Well, as the story goes from this fourth grader, this cat just crawled into my backpack. I didn't know it was there.
Ah!
And I'm like, so the cat brought cat food in the bag as well. That's a smart cat. So, there was about an hour where I had a cat in my office, babysitting
That's
until somebody
hilarious.
could come pick it up. That was a fun one. Okay,
How much
rapid
love
fire.
rapid fire.
Funniest moment you've ever had in classroom that still makes you laugh today.
Oh my gosh, it's rapid fire. I'm not doing well at this.
You can say pass. Pass.
No, I think I think kids in general are funny. I don't know. I'd have to think of a certain time, but I just think they're full of fun and life and they make silly jokes and especially middle school kids and they're just hilarious.
Uh, as I'm thinking through these, I once had a first grader tell me how their dad conserved water at home was by getting in the shower with mom. So they only had to have one shower and two people. That was a laugher. I will
That's
tell you that much.
genius, right?
Yeah, yep.
Genius.
And it turns out that the dad was actually a teacher in the building, which was even more hilarious.
So then you got to like, hey
Yeah, I
dude.
got to bring it to him. Yep, yep. Last one. What's your walk-up song?
Walk up song. We are the champions. We are the
Little
champions,
Queen.
my friend. Yeah.
Um, just by chance, I happen to be going to a Queen tribute band tomorrow or Friday night. Friday night. It's going to be super
You
fun.
are. How fun
Mhm.
is that?
Yeah, pretty fun. Pretty fun. Okay, so this is Katie, everybody. You would be so happy to bring her in. She's delightful. She is knowledgeable. She makes professional learning fun. You can see it and hear it, and we're so thankful that you've been with us here today. One last call to action. What do you have for people?
I just want to remind you that you should be laughing and having fun with kids.
There we
We
go.
get this one messy, beautiful life, and we should use it to laugh and learn together for
And
sure.
remember we're dealing with kids, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's protect them. Let's protect childhood. Let's do our jobs. With that, as we come to the end of this episode, I want to thank Katie for everything that she shared with us today. Katie's message of making learning fun, embracing those untold truths of teaching reminds us that education really can be a joyful journey, can it? We're incredibly thankful for Katie and her humor
Thank
and her
you.
dedication. And as we go, I want to say, Katie, thank you for being fantastic guest on TalentED. And to our listeners, stay PKS, which means keep spreading the love of learning and remembering that every day is an opportunity to make a difference. And until our next inspiring episode, everybody take care, stay thankful, stay PKS, which is positive, kind, and supportive. Thank you, everybody.
Bye.